Right now, on to the point. The district attorney demands the homeless Camp Resolution be shut down. The person leasing their property fires back.
It's not positive for the district attorney to start saber rattling.
Another PG&E rate hike is on the table tomorrow, causing increasing worry. How will people pay their bills?
Electricity is a necessity, not a luxury.
And a family's scam warning, losing thousands of dollars booking a Yosemite trip.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Alex Bell, and this is To the Point. The Sacramento County District Attorney is threatening charges again, and this time he's targeting Camp Resolution, a property owned by the city and leased by a nonprofit to help house dozens of people. And the DA claims the property is a health and safety hazard. Our Jeannie Nguyen explains what the DA wants to happen and how those behind Camp Resolution are responding.
Guaranteed housing. What we see in the sheltering systems now is this recycling of people.
Camp Resolution was supposed to be a safe space for people looking for shelter. Earlier this year, the Sacramento Homeless Union expressed its support for the site located on Colfax Street. But now, Sacramento District Attorney Tien Ho says it's a health and safety hazard for those living there.
What good does it do to say you can't be here, you can't be there, you can't be anywhere?
Mark Marin is part of Safe Ground Sacramento, a nonprofit that leased the space from the city to provide shelter for the unhoused. On Tuesday, DA Ho sent this letter to City Attorney Susanna Alcala Wood and Marin, expressing his disappointment in Camp Resolution.
Well, I don't think it served any function. It's not positive for the district attorney to start saber rattling and say, we don't want them here.
In the letter, DA Ho says toxic chemicals have been found at the site and could cause cancer. He says the initial agreement was to have safe parking for up to 50 vehicles on asphalt. No tents can sit directly on the ground. He also notes that tents were seen on the ground as of last week, but Marin and the Sacramento Homeless Union dispute these claims.
There are no tents on the ground there, and there are no skirts around the trailers. So I don't know what information he's relying on.
Sacramento Homeless Union attorney Anthony Prince says in part the DA is a liar and that the lab tests conducted in January of this year shows toxic chemicals were not detected at the site.
So I think that's just for maybe dramatic purposes. I would hope that the next step would be that there's something better for the people who are living there. That would be my hope, that the city recognizing that there are drawbacks to the site.
And Jeannie joins us right now. Jeannie, I do want to ask you, did the district attorney offer any solutions if Camp Resolution is closed?
Well, Alex, in his letter, he did suggest a site in Councilmember Mai Vang's district. Now, it's along Meadowville Road and was once a testing track for the CHP. I asked Attorney Mark Marin about this site today, and he told me he's on board and wants the city to start developing as soon as possible. Now, city spokesperson or for the city attorney's office would only tell us today that the city has received this latest letter from the district attorney and is in the process of evaluating its contents.
And I do want to be clear, the DA says this criminal investigation is separate from the pending civil lawsuit that he threatened the mayor and the city attorney with just a few months ago. So we will keep following this. Jeannie, thank you so much. And now to new information in the downtown stabbing we brought you last night is breaking news. It happened in the area of 4th and K Streets. The man stabbed has died, and this is now being called a homicide. Police say the man who was killed and the suspect were both homeless and knew each other. A homeless advocate believes the stabbing happened so publicly due to a lack of follow through from the city.
The city manager has not done what the city council and mayor instructed him to do, I think about 2 months ago at this point, was to locate, ideally in East City Council District, which definitely won't happen, places for safe ground.
The stabbing happened just as people were starting a line for a Christian singers concert right at Golden One Center. We reached out to the Downtown Safety Partnership to discuss additional security and what they are doing at DOCO. They said that they are still working with police and could not comment at this time. Tonight, we are hearing from a resident in an apartment complex who say that they have been forced to live without hot water since November 1st. They live at the Waverly Flats Apartments in Sacramento and say that they have tried to reach out to maintenance and management, but nothing has been done.
It is very hard to have to boil water to take a bath, to wash your body properly, to wash your dishes.
We reached out to the City of Sacramento's Code Enforcement Office, and they confirmed that they have been to the property 5 times to check on this issue. And we reached out to Waverly Flats, but we have not heard back yet. According to a California tenants guide, the law says plumbing facilities should be in good working order, including hot and cold running water. A federal court shut down Lockford Drug Pharmacy in San Joaquin County. The pharmacy was accused of dispensing hundreds of thousands of pills, including oxy and hydrocodone, for invalid prescriptions. The owner of the drugstore has already agreed to pay $1 million in penalties. President Biden met with China's leader ahead of the APEC summit in San Francisco today, and this high-stakes meeting has been planned for weeks, but Karen Travers explains the meeting's expectations were low.
President Biden greeting China's President Xi ahead of their first meeting in over a year.
There's no substitute to face-to-face discussions. I've always found our discussions straightforward and frank, and I've always appreciated them.
President Biden looking to ease tensions between the U.S. and China and restore critical lines of communications.
I think it's paramount that you and I understand each other clearly, leader to leader, with no misconceptions or miscommunication.
Following the meeting, the president briefed reporters on their discussions.
I just concluded several hours of meetings with President Xi, and I believe they were some of the most constructive and productive discussions we've had.
Relations have soured between the U.S. and China since President Biden and Xi met last November after a series of provocations by the Chinese military against the U.S. military and the incursion of the Chinese spy balloon earlier this year. China froze military communications with the U.S. in August 2022 after then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan, which China claims as its territory.
For two large countries like China and the United States, turning their back on each other is not an option.
The White House is downplaying expectations for any major breakthroughs, but the president has a lengthy agenda. The wars in Ukraine and the Middle East, managing increasing economic competition between the U.S. and China, stopping the flow of fentanyl into the U.S., and growing concerns over Taiwan. President Xi looking to show that China is open for business after the COVID lockdowns. His country is dealing with a deep economic downturn, rising unemployment, and a sharp slowdown in foreign investment. Next up for President Biden, hosting the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit, bringing together leaders from 21 nations to discuss ways to promote economic growth and better trade. Karen Travers, ABC News, traveling with the president in San Francisco.
And with a global spotlight on San Francisco, groups jumped at the chance to get their message out. A number of organizations protested the start of this summit this morning, attempting to shut it down. And many of the protesters say they feel like this is the perfect opportunity to make their demands heard. New tonight, the House Ethics Committee says it will not recommend a punishment for Representative George Santos. The New York Republican pled not guilty last month to a 23-count federal indictment, including identity theft, wire fraud, and lying to federal election officials. The panel expects to release a report this week after a months-long investigation. The members say they want people to review it and make their own conclusion about whether Santos should be removed from Congress. Coming up onto the point, a proposed rate hike for PG&E customers, how much it could cost you.
Finally starting to see some of that rain moving in from that big system sitting off the coast, and there's a lot more to come. I'm tracking it all.
And a scam warning you need to know about before booking your holiday travel.
How are we supposed to fly out of state, with our toddler and find out we don't have a reservation?
Okay, here we go. Holiday travel. If you are flying for Thanksgiving, expect it to be more crowded at airports compared to recent years. AAA says that they expect more than 4.7 million people to fly for Thanksgiving, and another 49 million people will be driving. They say that this Thanksgiving will be the busiest for air travelers in 18 years. Something Monica and I don't have to worry about because we'll be right here.
We will.
No driving or flying for us. We'll be with you guys.
I know, and I think a lot of people are going to start their travel this weekend. I was just going over all the connections basically out of Sacramento, where we have those main destinations, and it's actually looking like decent travel.
Oh, good.
Believe it or not, so if you're traveling this weekend, things are looking pretty good. Can't say that so much for next week across the country because everything that we're dealing with right here it's going to be making its way eastward by the time we get into next week. So we've got the rain coming in from the coast, finally making a bigger impact in Modesto right now. It's moderate rain all the way through the Tracy Triangle. As we head through the northern San Joaquin Valley, we're going to see some of that rain band start to shift its way up to the north over the next couple of hours here. In the 80-50 corridor, it is mainly rain until we get up to the higher elevations. I've been checking those chain controls and haven't seen any yet. That's not to say that we won't see it for a short period of time. Warmer air actually moving in for tonight, and it all turns to rain by the time we get to tomorrow. There's that system. It's still sitting off the coast, so that's what I'm saying. We're not done yet for the weekend travel Friday. We've got rain and thunderstorms. Same for Saturday with lowering snow levels. Be prepared for a lot of changing conditions in the Sierra. Sunday, we're back to dry and mild conditions. Today, we took a dip in those temperatures back into the 60s, pretty close to average, actually. On and off rain showers will continue into our Thursday forecast, but the biggest bulk of rain heading our way Friday afternoon through Saturday. Get ready for a wet start to our weekend. Now things will start to clear out by Saturday evening. Here comes that high pressure ridge, and we have a beautiful end to the weekend. Still looking at the bigger totals coming in for our rain, about a half an inch or so by the time we get to Saturday night. And for snow, we're going to be struggling. About 1 inch to 3 inches of snow. Again, taking what we can get at this point in the season. 50s up top for the Sierra, 50s and 60s down through the foothills heading into that Thursday outlook. 60s along the coast. We're in the 60s as well as we start to head inland after morning lows right about 50 degrees. Our 5-day forecast region wide. We have the active weather through Saturday, drying by Sunday and Monday. Great start to the next week, which I know a lot of kids have off for the entire week. So just kind of looking for things to do. We got a lot of ice skating rinks going on. Thursday for Thanksgiving Day, high of 64 under partly cloudy skies.
All right, Monica, thank you. Next, a family's scam warning to you before you book your holiday travel. Plus, the IRS has released new tax brackets. We verify when they'll take effect. A travel scam warning for you tonight. An out-of-state family booked a trip to Yosemite just to find out that they were scammed out of thousands of dollars. And they are sharing their advice with you just so you can get some help.
So here's him
With these views.
walking down that little boardwalk.
It's no wonder why Jacob Danny loves taking his wife and toddler to national parks. Exactly. The hikes.
Just throwing rocks in the river. That's
sights.
everywhere a toddler will allow you to go.
But getting here to Yosemite National Park was not the experience they wanted.
Quite the process.
They booked a hotel room within walking distance to a park trail. The receipt from third-party website stayforlong.com showed 7 nights for $3,766. But Jacob said they didn't get a reservation number, only a voucher number.
We're like, oh, something's not right here.
He said they called the hotel and found their reservation did not exist.
Well, how are we supposed to fly out of state, with our toddler and find out we don't have a reservation?
It's a common tale where we see a booking happen or an offer start to take place on a website that looks legitimate. It might carry a brand or a logo you might recognize, but then you go into a different portal, you go down a rabbit hole. And
Jason said they started their reservation through a different domestic website, clicked on a booking, and was rerouted to Stay for Long. BBB's Jason Mesa says they're seeing a spike in third-party website complaints.
The site is manipulated to capture your payment information, while in the end, no reservations are made.
It happens across the country. Federal Trade Commission data shows $42 million lost to vacation and travel fraud this year alone. So the BBB suggests to directly book through the hotel.
We just wanted to warn others.
Jacob and his wife tried to get their money back months before their vacation. Emails they say sent from the company show please note your check-in is more than 2 months from now, which makes it impossible for us to provide you with a hotel confirmation number 2 months prior to the check-in. Jacob says it didn't happen.
It's a big loss for sure.
They're out $3,766.
That's a mortgage and then some.
We emailed Stay for Long, asking them if they're investigating the claim. They did not respond.
And that was Erica Proffer reporting. We do have a link where you can report a scam and get some more tips on how to spot them. Just head to our website, abc10.com/tothepoint. Tomorrow, the California Public Utilities Commission could decide whether PG&E customers have to pay higher prices. So PG&E is requesting a double-digit rate increase that could start as soon as January 1st. Our Garage Paul Sango reports why PG&E wants the increase and the effort underway to stop it.
Alex, PG&E has said in the past that price hikes could happen because it needs to fund moving power lines underground. Many people opposing this plan as families are struggling financially. The Utility Reform Network, also known as TURN, says PG&E needs to achieve safety in the most cost-effective manner. Its executive director says price hikes should be capped and limited by the cost of living adjustment that Social Security recipients get.
The increase that is on the table now, we're talking about another $30 or $40 a month, is just the tip of the iceberg, because PG&E has multiple rate increase requests standing in line right now, and every increase is stacked on top of each other.
Mark Toney says as more people get their power shut off simply because they can't afford the rising cost, that is a leading contributor to people being evicted. So tomorrow's vote is coming after a previous one was delayed a few weeks ago.
And the meeting starts at 11 tomorrow morning. It will be streamed online. You can find that link at abc10.com/links. All right, in your price points tonight, the IRS has announced new tax brackets. The agency adjusts them every year for inflation, meaning you can usually make a little bit more without crossing into a higher bracket and paying more taxes. But some have been wondering if these new brackets will apply to your next tax return. Casey Decker verifies.
Let's verify. Our sources are the IRS and Tom Wheelwright, an accountant. The answer is no. The new tax brackets will not apply to your next tax return. These adjustments will take effect in the 2024 tax year, meaning they'll apply to the return you file in 2025.
And that means that if you were making the same income in 2024 as you did in 2023, you would pay less tax.
For more information on the new tax brackets and what federal taxes you might pay next year, go to verifythis.com.
And some relief for home buyers. Mortgage rates are dropping after hitting a 23-year high just last month. A few weeks ago, they were above 8%, and now they're at 7.4%. So here's an example. On a $300,000 mortgage, you'd be paying about $2,214 a month with 8% interest. But at this new rate, the monthly cost drops down to $2,077. Analysts predict that we could see mortgage rates drop to 7% in a few months and maybe even hitting 6% by spring. Would you pay for a faster commute on the Causeway? Right now, Caltrans is proposing a $465 million project that would add a toll lane in each direction on I-80. It would also include a bike path and a 300-spot parking lot in West Sacramento. And yesterday I asked you how you feel about it. And tonight we're sharing some of your comments. So one viewer messaged us saying, I am not in support of it. My tax dollars are already supposed to be allotted for road improvements, and now I'm supposed to be charged to travel on roads that my tax dollars are paying for. I agree to lane splits and allowing for straight through traffic, but not at a cost. Another viewer wrote us saying, I do not support the toll road. People had to move out of the Bay Area to buy property due to the expense, and bridge tolls climb each year along with gas. California must stop passing on costs to people who work hard to survive. And then another viewer wrote us saying, I am 84 years old and can remember crossing the Golden Gate Bridge when it cost 25 cents. They said the tolls would go away in 10 or 12 years, but we all know where that went. When does it stop? They are just going to keep raising tolls and taxes. Some very thoughtful comments and really good points. Remember, you can always share your thoughts with us. Just text us at 916-321-3310, or you can email us at tothepoint@abc10.com. All right, coming up on To The Point tomorrow, human trafficking is increasing in Sacramento County. So I sat down with a human trafficking survivor whose story, I will say, it changed me. Her name is Jeanette, and despite everything that has happened to her, she has been able to start a new chapter in her life, thanks in part to a Sacramento hospital.
My mom was selling me for sex for men. At 13 years old, I was labeled as a prostitute.
Human trafficking is increasing in our community.
I think a lot of people have the perception that it's going to be somebody coming in from overseas, and it's a much more insidious problem than that.
Not all doctors are trained to see the signs.
There's nothing in medical education telling us to talk to our patients about trafficking.
But a local hospital is changing that and helping give survivors a new start in life.
There are so many years I wasn't able to respect myself, and now I can call the shots for my own body. I have control, and I've never had control like that.
You do not want to miss this full story tomorrow at 6:30, only on To The Point. And we always want to hear what's going on in your community. Make sure you reach out to me and the team. You can send us an email at tothepoint@abc10.com. Have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, it's Alex. Just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I really love hearing from everyone, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. Reach out to me on Facebook at AlexBellTV, or you can email me at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send me a text message at 916-321-3310.